would be a good time for some intro music. Uh, you know what? You've been humming the circus theme all night. Jamie, go ahead and there you go. Welcome everyone to SMA Live. That was the wonderful musical talents of my co-host Jamie Cravens. I'm Mallory Woods. Welcome to another show. But you know what? YouTube is not going to ding us with any copyright infringements for that circus music. I guarantee you that.
Well, speaking of circus music, I ended up going to the Twins home opener yesterday. And I'm going to tell you, it takes a lot of dedication to be a Twins fan. Not only have they not won home opener since 2011, not only did they drop to 0-7, but it was a balmy 40 degrees out to go watch that game for some outdoor baseball.
Winter baseball is the best. I mean, when you can't feel the bat you're swinging at it, that's absolute sport that, that's a sport that's almost as long as the karate season. I'll have to say that as well, Man, you know what?
Plenty of time. Yeah.
Plenty of time to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it with our first guest. We're going to give the world famous coach of JPM a call while you all take a look at our upcoming SMA events. We have Mr. Damon Gilbert, former teammate of mine, now current coach of the John Paul Mitchell karate team, and is right now, as we speak, teaching defensive tactics to the Oakland Police Department. So we're calling him on his lunch break over on the West Coast. Let's give Mr. Gilbert a call real quick.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Damon Gilbert, welcome to sportmartialarts.com. I'm sorry, SMA Live. I'm tripping over everything right now. This is awesome. My teammate, my friend, welcome. Jamie Cravens is on the line with me. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How about you? How can you hear me? How do I sound?
You sound marvelous, sir. You sound awesome. You sound like you. How is the rest of the good people that you're teaching defensive tactics to? Are they out of breath right now?
They're pretty nervous. We're in week 22 with this academy. We have a 28-week academy here at the Oakland Police Department, and they're working on a defensive tactics training here tonight, doing some vehicle pullovers, some high-risk stops, proper searching, and dealing with multiple suspects here tonight is on the curriculum forefront for tonight. So they're pretty nervous because pretty much everything that these guys do will be tested, and if they don't pass that test, they pretty much won't have a job. So it's pretty stressful, but I enjoy giving these guys the skill, necessary to survive the street and provide great service to the people of Oakland.
Now, if you guys don't know, in addition to being the fabulous coach of the John Paul Mitchell karate team, Damon Gilbert is also a respected member of respected police officer for Oakland. How long has it been that you've been an officer of law out there, sir?
Man, it's 19 years this February, so I've been on 19, and I started when I was 17, but but it's been 19 years.
Wow, that is impressive. If you don't know this gentleman, if you've seen plenty of accommodations galore for the great work that he's doing out there, and the streets of Oakland are a little less mean because we have Officer Gilbert on. Let me go ahead and hit you with a little karate stuff. Well, first of all, congratulations to not only a spectacular event last week at the Ocean State Grand Nationals, but I really wanted to definitely bring to attention. I saw some video of JPM, the whole entire JPM team, doing some charitable work before the tournament. I believe it was at the Children's Hospital. That was very cool. We love to see stuff like that in our community. And of course, the great work that you all are doing, promoting and keeping us aware for ALS, for KA, and everything that's going on. That was great to see. How was that tournament last weekend for you, sir?
It was a wonderful experience. It's always a blessing to be in the Ocean States. Don Rodriguez, not only is my old coach and a great friend and a mentor and like a father figure, but he's a very passionate promoter. And I think that's what makes promoters good, is when they come from a place of passion. And he really does like to cater to the consumer, to the karate fan, to the karate expert, and just make it a very family-friendly event. So it was just a wonderful experience. And how could you not top it off by being in the same building as the greatest sport martial arts competitor of all time, Kevin Thompson? I'd go anywhere to go see Kevin Thompson. That alone is an easy sell, and just the fact you get to be in his presence and watch a real fighter fight, it's a blessing, and it's truly an honor just to say and know the guy.
Yeah, that's truly a touching moment. But I watched the nighttime show and watching all the JPM guys, helping them out, giving them a hand, and doing the what's the new break challenge that's been going on? I've seen a couple of videos. Can you fill me in on that?
Yeah, well, we're starting with Kevin. This is Kevin's brainchild, which is a beautiful thing, and it's the Breakthrough ALS Challenge. And essentially, we're going to need more than just martial artists to support this. Of course, I believe the martial art community, we will come out in the millions to support this, but we want even non-martial artists to sort of get in this movement. What we want to do is simply bring awareness to ALS. It's one of those diseases that sort of slip underneath the table, for lack of a better word, and it doesn't get the attention that it deserves. And if we can get that attention, then it can get that research and that money and that backing. It'd be more of a priority to look into different studies and things of that nature, try to help people, that deal with this disease. So we basically have people getting an object. We use boards at the Ocean State, but you can simply have a piece of paper and just write ALS on it, or break through ALS, and then deliver a punch or a push or a kick or whatever you want to do. Even if you're a novice and you never broke anything, it doesn't have to be a board. It could be a piece of paper, and we just want to show that breakthrough. And we're really trying to break ground here and educate everybody on ALS and how deadly it is, but how it also, we need to recognize that it's a legitimate foe. It's somebody that deserves the world's attention. And we need to give it some attention and really start proactive and progressive research measures to help people out like Kevin, because there's a bunch of them. And that's the one thing Kevin asked. Day one, when he was diagnosed with it, he was like, "Hey guys, help me bring awareness to this." So it's one of the many ways that we're trying to help do that. And we're trying to actually get it to replace the Ice Bucket Challenge. Very similar to how the Ice Bucket Challenge kicked off. We really want this to kick off like that. And we have the ALS Foundation looking at it to back us up with it as well. So if we can get their support, it will definitely move it in the right direction.
Oh yeah, thanks, David. I mean, it's just a great cause that's been uniting the karate world. So it's been good to see. I'm going to go ahead and bring it around to back to the JPM fighting side of things. We've had the Zoltan Laszlo flying across the pond for a couple of years. How's that language challenge been? And it's been tough to convince them to come over to the U.S. as much as they do. And is there any other breaking news we might want to know about some more Hungarian fighters that might jump on board?
Well, the thing with Zoltan Laszlo, in the beginning, it was a little tough, but I think the fighting language is a universal language. So I used to catch myself using a lot of physical and body language type motions and movements to sort of, tell them things that I would suggest they did in the fight. But the thing about Zoltan Laszlo that I've always admired the most is those guys are true students, and that's what really attracted me to them in the very beginning. They're students of the game, and they're constantly in student mode, which means they're constantly developing and growing. And, those guys took on working on and learning English from the moment I met them. And so the communication is nothing. We've been all over the place together, all over the United States, the Cayman Islands, all over Vegas. We've been everywhere, and, in a karate setting and non-karate setting. And it's a beautiful thing. In the beginning, it was slightly challenging, not much, just slightly challenging. But now, Zolt, we FaceTime each other. We're on Facebook. We're instant messaging and, Skyping. And no, it's a blessing. Those guys are true students. So they made the transition pretty easy, a lot easier than it would be for me if I had to go on that end and, learn how to speak Hungarian. It probably, I really have to dig down deep. And that's what those guys have done. But we have great communication. Those two guys are amazing talent, and the best is definitely yet to come with those guys.
Just to keep things on the Hungarian side, there have been a couple of rumors, couple of whispers that there may be some more Hungarian fighters added. I wanted to bring you on and invite you to set the record straight. Any truth to that rumor, or what's the deal?
No, and as everybody knows, I'm a pretty emotional guy. Like, I can even hide something if I wanted to. You see how I coach? I barely can sit in a chair when they say you can't get off the chair else you'll be penalized. I'm like, it's just hard for me to hide stuff. And I got to tell you, I'm not hiding anything. With us, whenever anything is a go, I definitely, because I'm a huge sport martial art, not only a supporter, but sport martial art fan, as far as sportmartialarts.com. If there's anything that's totally a go and there's something brewing, I would definitely tell you guys. I got to tell you, the team that you guys saw in Rhode Island, that's the team that I currently have. As a coach, am I always looking to enhance our team? Absolutely. And I can tell you right now, my personal criteria is I want the best talent in the world. I don't care where you're from. If you're coachable and if your desire to win surpasses mine, then it's doable. And if you want to do what it takes to be better, then it's doable. And if you're a professional, it's doable. If you know how to conduct yourself like a professional and represent a billion-dollar company outside of martial arts, then it's doable. So that's to anybody listening. Anybody that wants to wear black and white, that respects what our team stands for, respects what we bring to the table, inbox me. Anybody. And you can get the ball rolling yourself. The team that you saw at OC State, that's our team. Am I always looking? Absolutely. I think every coach in our sport is looking for new talent. I have like no announcement. I will tell you, as soon as I will give my word to sportmartialarts.com.
There you go.
As soon as I have any news pickup, you guys will be the first to know, because I'm not a big fan of like the rumor alert. It's sort of ratchet.
I understand that. And
it reminds you of that small moment in reality TV where you think, dang, that's ratchet. But hey, it's life, and it's not a problem. I don't mind all that. That's my good buddy. But I'd rather see a rumor report. I'd rather see a rumor report about, hey, Paul Mitchell brings attention and the awareness to ALS. I like to see a rumor report, hey, Paul Mitchell goes to hospitals and speaks to kids who are dealing with terminal illnesses. I'd love to see that in a rumor report. But as far as pickups and not pickups, trust me, sportmartialarts.com will be the first ones to know the next time I get a pickup. But I'm definitely always looking, young, veteran, you name it. If you know where I come from and you like what we bring to the table, inbox me. Let's get this thing going.
Well, there you go. You heard it from the source. Everybody in the world, you can kick punch. I expect you to flood Damon Gilbert. That's DAMON GILBERT. Find him on Facebook, inbox him, tell him, hey, I want to be a part of JPM. I expect you to actually have a ton of email tonight from people wanting to be on this great team. We're going to go ahead and give you one last question, actually 1.5 questions right as we close. One of the things that I wanted to ask you, since you and I stood shoulder to shoulder many years on a team, how is it different from going to being that competitor to now being a coach? How challenging is that?
It's different because for me, the passion for this sport will never die. So the same passion I had when I was a competitor is the same passion I have as a coach. The hardest thing is like if you see somebody get hit late, you can't do nothing about it. You're like, if you hit me late, it would have been on so much. It would have been such a good exchange. So that part's a little funny at times, but I think the true challenging part is just making sure that you can relate to your players. I think any coach that has a significant amount of players will tell you that the thing that any coach does in any sport is you have to also be able to juggle personalities. Because you're dealing with several different types of personalities, different backgrounds, and you have to be able to get everybody on the same page, which is, when you have the right people, it's easy, and I have the right people. So it's pretty easy for me. It's tough as far as just not being in the mix. I would rather have my black belt on and punching and kicking somebody and giving my best than yelling and screaming. There's a time and place for everything, and just like Kobe got to lay it down tomorrow, everybody has their time, and I'm just glad my time isn't up and I'm still able to be a part of the sport and be a part of the team that I truly love.
Absolutely, and as Damon would tell you, he is definitely a man of passion, and anytime something like that happened when we were standing in the line, he was the first to walk up in a very calm voice and say, gentlemen, I believe my teammate was fouled. He never jumped up, yelled, or anything like that. Just all kidding with that. But one last question, Damon. Do you think we can get you on for an inaugural Gilbert's Gripes and bring back that segment maybe one time in another tournament? We do have some classic moments on, for our SMA video of you doing great interviews, and maybe we can get you to bring back on for another segment of that. Would you be down for that?
Absolutely. Let me tell you guys something. Emily Cooper has so much dirt on me. I have to really get that today, okay? It's just for my own sanity. Yeah, Emily Cooper got a ton of dirt on me, so hey, you send us a video you guys got Sport Martial Arts library. I don't want to pull up the bad video. So absolutely, anything sportmartialarts.com needs from Damon Gilbert. It's a done deal. It is absolutely a done deal, without question. I would love to do that.
Well, we'll definitely
explain why we're doing SMA Live as well.
Exactly. We got a lot of dirt on us too, sir.
Hey, I'm literally doing this sitting in the patrol car, and I got my academy running up a hill while I talk to you guys. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Hey, Sport Martial Arts comes first, all right?
Well, I know you got to get back to.
Tell you differently.
I know you got to get back to protect and serve. Thank you for taking the time with us, ladies and gentlemen. Coach of JPM, world famous karate team, the longest running sponsor karate team, Damon Gilbert. Thank you, sir. We look forward to seeing you at a next upcoming event, and we will talk to you later. Go get them.
Hey, absolutely. And like I said, breaking news will come to sportmartialarts.com. Don't worry about a rumor. I will call this place to give it to them first. And again, I want to congratulate Nikki Pelland on a great job this week, and great job, Nikki.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, D. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right, take it easy, guys.
All right. Boom! There you go. First, right there. We need a half-hour segment with Damon. We could go on with it. He's so high energy all the time. He could have easily gone on for another 45 minutes or so. But there you hear it first. Any rumors about new players being picked up from JPM will be told to us first. So there you go.
Right.
Now,
he's been in the game a long time. He knows quite a bit. So I'm sure
absolutely
he's got a ton of stories from back in the 80s and 90s as well.
Man, you know what? That said video, he might be talking to about. There was one time in which we were in Vegas, and I think it was at Barbie's tournament, and everybody went out to do some karaoke. And during the karaoke, I think one Miss Emily Cooper may have had her videotape rolling, and a gentleman, Damon Gilbert, may have been on the stage singing. So we might have to go on the archives or pay money or bribe money or anything to make sure that tape doesn't see the light of day. From being live in the audience, it was a show to see. I can guarantee you that. Well, we're going to get ready for our second guest. As Damon just mentioned, Nikki Pelland, who won the women's overall last week at the Ocean State Grand Nationals. But first, we're going to always thank our sponsor, Hayabusa Martial Arts. As you can see over Jamie's shoulder, GSP right there. The rumored comeback of GSP to the UFC. Will that happen? I guess time will tell. So will UFC 200. So we'll be back in 37 seconds after this Hayabusa ad. Back, and we're going to keep it moving right along. Going to give our next guest a call. She is a member of Team Straight Up and the overall winner from last week's Ocean State Grand Nationals, Nikki Pelland. Let's see if we can get her on the line.
Hello.
Hello, Nikki. This is Mallory and Jamie. Welcome to SMA Live.
Hi, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Now, most people, we just mentioned congratulations on your victory last week at Ocean State Grand Nationals. There's a beautiful picture of you jumping into Ross's arms after that. Can you describe that moment in that picture that we will be looking at in just a second?
Thank you so much. I I was very excited. Ocean Beach is my hometown, so it's always nice because my family doesn't get to travel with me that often. So a lot of people from my family were there watching me, so it made it extra special for me. So that's kind of where my excitement was in that moment.
All right. Now, one of the things that people may or may not know, you're on Team Straight Up, but you're also a teacher. Tell us a little bit about that.
I am currently a second grade ESL teacher, which is English as a second language. So I teach children who aren't from America or whose parents don't speak English, and I teach them the English language along with the school curriculum. Next year, I did accept the kindergarten all-day ESL position, which is opening brand new in my district. So I'm really excited to be a part of that also.
That is, most people don't know, and my mom is a lifetime teacher, so it's very nice to hear that. What are, besides, teaching kids that don't speak English or English is not their first language, has being a teacher always been a goal of yours? Is that something you wanted to be since you were younger?
Actually, when I was younger, especially when everything happened with Tori, I really wanted to be an occupational therapist and work with children who had been hurt in traumatic life experiences. But halfway through college, I started my clinicals and I realized that it wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. And I switched my major and I found teaching and I've loved it ever since. And that's why I went on to my master's after it, and I eventually want to be a school principal as well.
Okay. Well, congratulations again on the big championship this weekend. We've kind of seen a trend lately where a lot of the tournaments have been giving equal money for, the male and female grand championship. Has that ever played a role into your, decision-making process as to which tournaments you're going to attend?
I don't really look at the money. Obviously, I like to see where the top competition is, and usually as a result of that, that's where most of the top competitors go, is where they're giving more money. But I also realize that not always are the women given the same opportunities as the men, which is hard because I can see where promoters say there's not as many women as there are men. But there are a lot of women that train really hard, and I think they do deserve the same opportunities, and I don't feel that we're always given them. And I've been noticing that a lot more lately, and I know that a lot of people go back and forth about it on Point Fighter and Sports Martial Arts page, and I see it quite often, and I do agree, but I don't like to chime in on the social media, Facebook, because I feel like sometimes it could get ugly. Mm-hmm. But I do agree that even though there's not as many women competitors out there, the ones that are out there are training just as hard, and I think that we should get the same divisions offered to us that the men get offered to them, regardless of how many of us there are, because it's not our fault that we don't have as many competitors as the men.
I agree with you on that, and I'm glad to see that there's some quality coming to the prize money that's being given out at tournaments. Now, one question that did come in on our YouTube channel, and I have a feeling you're going to laugh when you hear this. I'm supposed to ask you about your Popeye move after the OSGN win and whether you think that's become a trend. Could you put a little explanation to that, your Popeye move?
I didn't realize that I did it, but Nick and Ross noticed that after I won, I kind of waved my arm, and they were saying that I looked like Popeye when I did it from the show. So they started calling me Popeye the whole weekend after I was done competing.
Well,
but I guess it was just the emotions that took over.
That, and sometimes that happens. I'm going to have to go and dig in and get that video. I hope we got video of it, because I could see that being featured, a couple here and there. So one of the things that we also do bring note is I know you and Ross have been together quite some time. There's a beautiful picture of you guys over the years. How is it to have someone that that you're very close to, that also shares the same passion as you? Both of you all are highly decorated martial artists, great fighters, and could you go into that a little bit about having a partner that is just as involved in your sport as you?
I feel like I hear a lot of my friends and fellow competitors sometimes complain that their spouse just doesn't get it because they don't understand the time you put in or the emotion behind it, or if you have a bad night at training or a good tournament, you want to talk about all of those things. And I feel like having someone that is doing the same amount of work that you're doing and that understands if you need to vent about something, or especially with Ross, a lot of times if I have a bad night at training and something's just not clicking, I'll talk it out with him on the way home, and I get home, I'm oh yeah, got it. It's nice to have that person to bounce ideas off of, and even Ross will do the same with me. He'll talk it out with me, and even though you know the answer, it's nice to have that other person that in that moment you forget it, they're what are you doing? And it's really nice to have that. It was great to have him be able to coach me. Actually, this week, he stayed with me from Philly to Ocean States, and I was able to train with him the entire week leading up to Ocean States, which usually we don't get to do at all because he hasn't lived in Rhode Island.
Well, I know that you're a new homeowner, and you're looking forward to spending a lot more time with Ross once he becomes Dr. Ross, which will be very, very soon. And I don't think you could have a more understanding, more knowledgeable partner to be with. Ross is a complete class act, and knowing him since he was a young man, to seeing the not only the competitor but the the guy that he's grown into, you are in very good hands. And that week, it shows the hard work that you all put in that week. And I'll give him partial credit. You were the one out there actually fighting, but it definitely shows from your last victory. So definitely congratulations on that. Nikki, where will we see you next? Which tournament are you going to be at next?
I'm not sure if I'm going to Quebec. It's up in the air right now, but I'm definitely going to be at Kumite.
Awesome, which actually rolls us right to our next guest. We'll be talking to Bill right after this, and we'd like to thank you for taking some time. I hope we didn't interrupt you grading some papers or getting your class plans together for tomorrow, but thank you for taking time to come on the show. We look forward to thank you very much for this, Nikki, and we will see you soon.
The call has been sent out.
All right, take care.
Nikki. Sorry. All right. 2-minute rounds.
There she is, the wonderful Nikki Pelland. And as she mentioned, our next guest is the promoter of the Kumite Classics, and I don't know, maybe the headlines have overshadowed. They got a somewhat decent amount of prize money for team sparring that's coming up. You may have seen that, Jamie. It's just a little bit of money.
I've seen the amount. We'll hear it from Bill from himself. And the interesting thing is that tournament's also rolled in with the Pittsburgh Fitness Expo, and there's just a ton going on during that weekend besides the karate tournament itself.
Absolutely. If you've never been, it's a number of events. It's something for everyone up there. You've got bodybuilding, you've got fitness expo, you have, of course, martial arts, you've got their bikini contest. Just go to the website. You've got to see it. It's amazing. Let me get him on the line just right now. While I go ahead and prep him to get ready, Jamie, why don't you go ahead and tell us about our upcoming events we have?
Well, this weekend we're all heading out to visit our good friend, Jeff Joss, for the Grand Slam Open Nationals, April 15th and 16th. They'll be featuring a North versus South junior team fights on stage. And then April 29th to the 30th, the Quebec Open, which will be broadcast live on SMA TV. May 6th to 7th, we're heading down to the Gator Nationals. That's you and me, Mallory.
Oh, yeah.
And they got that. What was that new fighting division they had? It was kind of like a two-step where you kind of fight both the guys on the team.
If I remember right, it was called a two-step, and I apologize ahead of time for the lanes. I remember they mentioned it last week. It's a two-man team action where you've got to, hey, things are going. It's going to be this is a perfect time to reference our old show from last week. Listen to them explain it fully from last week's show number 10.
Yeah.
And upcoming.
We got Bill's gonna talk about the Kumite, but we've also got the New England Open on June 3rd and 4th. Apparently there's going to be a new sparring division. We should hear from Mr. Greenhall himself at some point. The Battle of Atlanta, June 17th and 18th. That's going to be on SMA TV as well. They have a ton of unique fighting divisions on Friday night. They got something called Point MMA. I don't know what that is. I'm excited to see it, though. Youth, continuous Taekwondo style, tag team, international fighting, all sorts of stuff. And then we got the U.S. Open coming up July 8th and 9th. Now, that's might not be on SMA TV. The reason being because it's on ESPN 2 and 3. And that's July 8th and 9th. But April 17th is the cutoff for the special pricing. So make sure you get your registration in the next few days here.
Absolutely. Always good to save that money. Let's go ahead and punch up Bill on the phone, the promoter of the Kumite Classics. We'll go ahead and get him on the line.
Hello?
Yes, Bill Viola for Kumite Classics. This is SMA Live. This is Mallory Woods and James Cravens. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, guys. Yeah.
How's it going? Well, the clock is counting down to your event, and I'd like to go ahead and kick it off by beginning that you were one of the first people last year to break your event out and go independent, which is a very interesting and a very brave move. How had you been thinking about that a few years to go ahead and just not just to go out on your own? How long of a thought process did you put into that?
Well, I've been involved in this sport my entire life, so I've seen a lot of changes between all the big leagues that are out there, and I appreciate and respect all the other tournament promoters from all the different sanctioning bodies. But I saw some needs from a competitor standpoint, and I think a lot of folks were looking for some changes and something new, and you really can't do that when you're under the thumb of certain rules and regulations that you have to follow. So in order for me to achieve my goals and really do a competitor-friendly event the way that I wanted to, it was just time to move independent, and that was my vision. The vision was to do this 10K and a lot of the new divisions that I'm doing, and you sort of have to have freedom to do that, and so I took the plunge this year. That is,
as I mentioned, it's definitely a brave move. Did you spend many sleepless nights breathing into a paper bag, or once the decision was made, it was all forward?
It was a tough decision. There's no doubt. I got a lot of friends and family that are, a part of the MBL, as well as other groups that I've worked with. But like I said, at the end of the day, for me to take the sport to the next level the way that I wanted to, it's what I had to do, and the outpouring of support has been great. Of course, you stress about those sorts of things and wonder, like you said, sleepless nights. But really, I'm very thankful that everyone from all the different leagues have been very supportive and are pledging support. So I really appreciate it.
Now, if you haven't been to this wonderful event before, you guys got a little bit of everything going on there. We've got the tournament, we've got fitness modeling, we've got strongman competition. There is something for everyone, but I'm going to turn over the mic to you. Tell us what you have new, and also for anyone who, they're just tuning in right now, like, an event in Pittsburgh, awesome, I want to come. What exactly do you have? Go ahead and list the new stuff first and just give us a rundown of everything.
My concept was always this. When you and I go to a karate tournament, wherever it may be, most cases it's the same people at every event, and unfortunately it's normally just the friends amongst other karate schools. There's very, very few outsiders or just general spectators that come and witness our sport. So the concept behind the Kumite Classic was always to introduce sport karate to a mainstream audience, and the only way to do that is to get them into the same building under the same roof with other athletes and other sports. So you take the CrossFit industry, you take the bodybuilding industry, you take the powerlifting industry, you put them under the same roof with sport karate. But I can tell you, as you've been to the event before, sport karate is always the highlight, and those guys walk away with a newfound respect for what we do because they've never been introduced to it or never seen it before. So, the idea is, putting all these world-class athletes together, but at the same time, everybody's familiar with what CrossFit or powerlifting is. It's the sport karate that's sort of unknown to the mainstream audience, and the Kumite has been able to really open a lot of people's eyes, and in response to that, we get more support from sponsors and things because they see just how wonderful our sport is. Just people just don't have a chance to see it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something else that I really stuck out to me and is quite unique about your event is that monstrous cash prize for team fighting. Tell us how much that's up to right now.
Yeah, well, I wanted to do something big. When you go out on your own, there's always those questions. Some people may play conservative, but for those that know me and Sport Martial Arts and Emily have seen me since the beginning, I definitely don't try to do things small. If I see an opportunity, I wanna try to make it big. And so I talked to Em and I talked to Raymond and a lot of folks that are everywhere, and I said, what's the largest cash prize out there for teams? And it was, they were coming back, some do 3, some do 5, or total. And I said, well, let's just smash it. Let's go for a 10K. Let's do 10,000, world's largest prize for team fighting, and really put teams back on the forefront of what we do. Growing up, in the 80s and 90s, team fighting was everything. I mean, as little kids, that's all we wanted to do was get to the stage and see the team fighting. And I just feel like the past decade has kind of been maybe losing some of its attention or not featured as much at some of the bigger tournaments and things. And so I just wanted to do something huge and just bring that energy and the allure of the team championship back in front of everyone and show people just how exciting that division can be.
Right on. And just out of any curiosity, I know you're in there with the Fitness Expo as well. Any way I can get in? Is there any chance I can get in to be one of those bikini fitness judges?
Yeah.
You know how many people ask me that? But yeah, for you, yeah, I got the VIP credentials for you, man.
And speaking of that, is there anything else that just grabs your attention while you're there at like any of the other events? I know there's a lot of lifting and probably some CrossFit stuff.
Sure. I mean, you said it though. There is a little bit of absolutely everything. The whole concept behind my Fitness Expo is encouraging anybody to be physically active. So, I'm a big proponent of physical fitness in my Pittsburgh region, and I don't care if you're a 5-year-old or a 75-year-old. We try to offer something that everyone can get physically active with. So, whether it be running a 5K or whether it be arm wrestling or you name it, we offer it at the expo, which is fun. You can come in off the street and break a sweat, do a workout. It's just very interactive and fun, and that's what I've always wanted it to be. Is sport karate is the future, of course, but I want your friends and family to come with you just to have a great time, and not just a normal run-of-the-mill tournament. I want it to be the best possible caliber of competition, but also leave there with a smile on your face, a bunch of free samples, and just have a good time over the weekend.
Well, as Damon would mention, from being there before, Bill, I may have gotten lost between the sports karate competition and also the bikini judging. I can freely admit that as a competitor, I may have been late to my ring 1 or 2 times. I'll fully admit that.
I don't want to name any names, but I can remember years ago, a few top level black belt fighters told me that my tournament's the only tournament they don't mind losing at because there's a bikini contest and things that can solve them. So I take that as a compliment.
I cannot confirm nor deny that, but yes. And hey, it's just 44 days away, May 27th, 28th at the Monroeville Convention Center, the Kumite Classics. You can find more at kumiteclassic.com. Bill, thank you so much for coming on the show with us. One quick note. There's an interesting discussion, and I'd like to take the time also to mention for our media affiliates from Point Fighter on Facebook. There's an interesting poll going on who they would like to see judge for the $10,000 sparring thing. These people are just talking.
I just caught that actually before I jumped on the line with you. I don't know how long that's been up there, but I just happened to see it maybe about 20 minutes before you jumped on the line with me. And I actually think that's great that they have that conversation going because a lot of the guys that I've mentioned on there are already on my radar and I've already talked to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny that the masses are calling for a lot of the guys that I've already spoken to, some that have already committed. But I love to hear. I mean, that's the main reason I'm independent. I want to hear feedback from folks and try to accommodate.
And just because you have some of the same names in mind that have been mentioned, that shows you're on the right track. Well, we're looking forward to making this event a great success. We will see you there in May. Looks like I think I'm going to be covering that. I'm not sure who's going to be partnering with me right now, but I'll be there to see you and enjoy this great event. Bill, thanks for coming online with us, and have a good evening.
I appreciate it, guys. You guys have been there since day one. I appreciate having Sport Martial Arts in my corner.
Awesome, sir. We can't wait to see you. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
It's only a $10,000 prize. I mean, if you got nothing else to do, $10,000. Well, you got to split it with a couple of other guys, or you could all fight together after that, the team fight for a $10K prize. However you want to break it up, it's up to you.
Right.
As you mentioned, this weekend, big shout out to my friend Jeff Doss. We're going to be at the Grand Slam Open coming up this weekend. Jamie, you get to fly into wonderful Richmond, Virginia. That's going to be good times.
I'm looking forward to it. It's also going to be live on SMA TV. So make sure, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook so you can watch that live with us.
Yes, definitely. So catch our live stream, which I was able also to watch last week at the Ocean State, which is, it feels like you're right there. You get to see everything. We also have the Quebec Open, as you can see right on the screen right now, Gator Nationals, and of course the Kumite Classic, which we just mentioned. So thank you all for tuning in. Jamie, we're going to go ahead and bring another successful show to a close, and we will be back next week with another recap of more in the sports karate world. For Jamie Cravens, I'm Mallory Woods. We will see you guys later on.
Bye, Manosim.